boto ko po ay yes.
Ito ang short pero straight to the point na boto ni Senator Lito Lapid. Madami nga ang nag-abang na magsalita si Senator Lapid tungkol sa impeachment. At sa ginawang botohan ng mga senador ay narinig ang panig nito. Narito ang pahayag Senator Lapid.
Senator Lito Lapid is recognized.
Mr. President, respeto ko po at ginagala ko ang kataas-taasan ko.
Ayon kay Senator Lapid ay nirerespeto at ginagalang nito ang pasya ng Korte Suprema. Narito naman ang isinagawang botohan ng mga senador at ang paliwanag ng mga to. Panoorin pa natin ito. Pero bago yan, huwag kamlimutang mag-like at subscribe para sa mga pinakabagong balita.
My God, have mercy on your decision.
I vote yes.
Bumoto po ako ng yes.
Vote yes.
President, my vote is yes.
I vote yes.
I vote yes to the...
We voted no.
Ang boto ko po ay yes.
In my voting yes.
Yes. Thank you.
That I abstain, Mr. President.
I vote yes and I will explain my vote.
I did not swear an oath to defend emotion.
I vote for the motion of Senator Marcoleta.
Ingatan at alagaan po natin ang saligang batas.
I vote to transfer the articles of impeachment to the archives.
Tayo, pag-usapan natin ang mga totoong problema. Maraming salamat.
Mas mahirap i-dismiss o i-archive ang daing ng mga tao sa pananagutan at katarungan.
Daghan kay salamat sa ako mga kaigsunan and may God bless us all. Marami.
Senator Soto.
May I register my vote, Mr. President?
The minority leader may proceed.
Thank you. Mr. President, the Supreme Court decision is now pending appeal. It is prudent to wait for the results rather than prematurely archiving, if not dismissing, because I know for a fact, once it is archived, it is dead. So what happens if the Supreme Court reverses itself? Clear and blatant errors are present in the ruling of the Supreme Court. First, they misunderstood the legislative process in assuming that the 19th Congress adjourned sine die in February 5. Grave error. Thus effectively dismissing the first three complaints, paving the way for them to say na ano pala, yung one-year ban binayolate. The archiving of the three complaints were done after the initiation of the fourth complaint. The one-year ban did not set in. Second, the decision practically amended the clear mandate by the Constitution by placing a hierarchy on the modes to initiate an impeachment complaint. Parang wala na yung third option. Third, the Supreme Court retroactively applied the new definition to the present case in the violation of the doctrine of operative facts, thus voiding as well the impeachment proceedings of former President Estrada and Chief Justice Corona. They did not interpret the Constitution, Mr. President. They amended the Constitution. So lastly, the Supreme Court now has the chance to rectify these errors in its decision. So I was hoping to table the motion so that we can let us afford them this opportunity for the benefit of future impeachment processes and to uphold the clear mandate of the 1987 Constitution. All we needed to do was wait a little. And so I will have to register a yes vote. I know it will be a vote in the minority, but I have always voted in the minority in many issues in the Senate since 1992 up to the present. Always prayed I was wrong. Unfortunately, I was always right. My God, have mercy on your decision. I vote yes.
Noted. Secretary will please continue.
Senator Tulfo Erwin. Senator Tulfo Rafi. Senator Villanueva. Senator Villar Camil. Senator Villar Mark. Senator Zubiri. Senate President Escudero.
No.
Pwedeng mag-explain ng boto.
Before the explanations of vote, Chair would first like to make of record the result. With 5 affirmative votes, 19 negative votes, the motion to table the motion of Senator Marcoleta is lost. Lost. Soto. Sorry, Senator Soto is lost. No, he said the motion to table the motion of Senator Marcoleta is lost. Yes. Pati tuloy ako, nalito dito sila.
Mr. President,
Senator Villanueva.
if I may, Mr. President, and to go back to the first motion raised by Senator Marcoleta, if I may be allowed, Mr. President, to amend, Mr. President, the motion, Mr. President.
The gentleman may proceed with the permission of Senator Marcoleta.
Mr. President, adhering to the immediately executory decision rendered by the Supreme Court en banc on 25 of July 2025, which held, among others, the articles of impeachment are null and void ab initio, and that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the same, I move to transfer the articles of impeachment in relation to case number 002-2011 entitled in the matter of the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte to the archives. I so move, Mr. President.
What does Senator Marcoleta say?
I accept, Mr. President.
There is a motion as enunciated by the minority floor leader. What is the pleasure of Senator Zubiri?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, instead of a viva voce vote on that motion, may we be allowed to manifest our votes with a short manifestation, Mr. President, each and every one of us.
This,
Yeah, through nominal voting, Mr. President, with the permission of the body, of course.
no, I think, Senator Soto, the motion of Senator Zubiri is to conduct nominal voting and allow the members to explain their votes after casting their vote, not after everyone has voted. I think that is the tenor of the motion of Senator Zubiri.
Correct, Mr.
Ang binobotohan muna natin, amendment po di ba? Tinanggap niya.
Hindi, yung motion na.
Tinanggap niya. So, Mr. President, the Majority Leader, Senator Marcoleta accepted the amendment of the Majority Leader. So, what are we voting on now? May we now
The motion
hear-
as amended
Yes,
by
a motion
Senator
as amended.
Villanueva.
May we hear the motion as amended, please?
May the gentleman,
Yes.
the distinguished majority leader,
Yes,
kindly
Mr.
state
President.
once again for the record and benefit of our colleagues, the motion as duly accepted by Senator Marcoleta.
Thank you, Mr. President. Adhering to the immediately executory decision rendered by the Supreme Court en banc on 25th July 2025, which held, among others, that the articles of impeachment are null and void ab initio, and that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the same, I move to transfer the articles of impeachment in relation to case number 002-2011 entitled in the matter of the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte to the archives. I so move, Mr. President.
May we register, would anyone from the minority or those opposing the motion would like to make of record their objection before so that we can divide the House?
Yes, Mr. President,
Yes,
I
please.
object and
Thank you.
ask for a nominal vote.
Thank you. With the understanding, Senator Soto, that it is in accordance with the request of Senator Zubiri, that upon the name is called, the explanation of vote may be made, should they so desire. There is a motion duly objected to, as stated by the minority floor leader, to place into the to transfer to the archives the impeachment articles of impeachment in relation to the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Secretary is directed to call the roll and proceed to nominal voting.
Roll call vote. The Honorable Senator Aquino. Senator Cayetano Alan.
Mr. President, sabi po ng preamble ng Philippine Constitution, we, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God in order to build a just and humane society and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspirations, promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, and secure to ourselves and our posterity the blessing of independence and democracy under the rule of law, a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, peace, do ordain and promulgate this Constitution. Nanumpa po tayo na susundin natin tong Constitution na to. Madali pong sumumpa, mahirap to pa rin. Madali pong sumumpa na susundin kung naniniwala tayo sa desisyon. Paano kung hindi tayo naniniwala sa desisyon? Paano kung ang tinatanggal ngayong hapon na to ay si President Marcos at ayaw kong maging presidente si Vice President Sara Duterte? Will I have the courage to follow the same decision? That is the test I apply to myself today. Tinignan ko po ang Supreme Court decision, solid po. Hindi nito inaalis ang kapangyarihan sa House to initiate impeachment. February 6 po, sigurado yan. In fact, before February 6, may Quadcom na, magiging glorieta na yan soon. Tuloy-tuloy po yan, yung mga investigasyon na yon, kasi ganun ang politika sa Pilipinas. I hope yung sa baha, imbestigahan din. I hope yung sa corruption, sa smuggling, sa karami-rami nating utang, not only this administration, last administration, Hitler nung 6 years old siya, papatayin mo ba siya? Ang hirap sagutin nun. Of course, for us who believe that thou shall not murder, ang sagot madali. But what if you could have prevented the worst human rights violations in the world, the Holocaust? What if you could have prevented such fire of fascism that it actually swept, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, nag-Time Magazine of the Year pa si Hitler. I wonder what our answer is. But I know my answer here today. If you kill Hitler when you are 6 years old, if you justify the ends by the means, you will create more Hitlers. So if the Vice President is guilty, dapat po siya ay i-impeach. Pero sa tamang panahon at tamang proseso. Nagsalita ng Korte Suprema na mali ang proseso, mali ang panahon. But yun po, Mr. President, sana kung ano ang discussion since February 5 dito na nakatuon kay Vice President Sara Duterte, sana kung sino ang guilty sa mga baha, ganun din tayo. Hindi naman siguro si Sara ang gumawa ng mga baha. Sana po kung ano ang cause ng pagkabansot or stunting yung corruption. Ganun din, araw-araw talagang wag natin tantanan. Lastly, Mr. President, may I make an appeal to the media, our friends, the vloggers, yung iba nandito, political analysts, advocates, school deans, etc. Nakalagay kasi dito, we all agree on a regime of truth. Parati na lang ang vloggers ang nasasabihan na fake news. Alam nyo po, marami tayong political analyst ngayon. Di naman sila analyst eh. Ang ibig sabihin ng analyst provides objective, non-partisan, data-driven explanation of political events, systems, and trends. Ang ibig sabihin naman ng advocate champions a specific cause, policy, or interest group to influence public opinion and policy decisions in favor of their positions. Wala namang masama dun eh. So kung ikaw ay advocate, sabihin mo na lang. Pero mag-a-appear ka sa TV, magpapa-interview ka, sasabihin mo political analyst. Pero gusto mo lang, bata mo maging presidente, nililito mo pa ang tao eh. Ganun din po. Ilan beses kami binugbog dito nung iba na ang sabi, bawal daw ang isang senator judge na mag-move to dismiss. Pero sila din ngayon ang nagsasabi sa mga senator judge, mag-MR kayo sa Supreme Court. Saan ka kayo nakakita na hindi pwede mag-motion to dismiss? Judges dismisses cases because of no jurisdiction. Ang CA, 3 sila o 5. Hindi nyo lang nakikita sa publiko at hindi sila magmumove kasi sila lang nag-uusap. Ang Supreme Court, hindi ba dinismiss nila? Hindi ba sinabi nila no jurisdiction? Tayo kasi dito nag-usap sa hall na to. So natural, hindi naman pwedeng si Senator Batorni ay tumingin lang sa akin tapos maisip niya, dismiss. Walang manifestation dito na hindi sinasabi. My point, Mr. President, is that yung sinabi ni Mahatma Gandhi nangyayari na sa Pilipinas eh. Sabi ni Mahatma Gandhi, if it's an eye for an eye, the whole world will go blind. Let's make our stand. Ilang beses ko narinig dito sa hall na to, ang taong bayan, ang taong bayan, ang taong bayan. Eh, hindi ba naman lahat naman tayo halal ng taong bayan eh, di ba? Hindi ba pwedeng sabihin ko na lang, ang opinion ni Alan Cayetano, isa lang naman ako eh. Ang opinion ni Joel Villanueva, ang opinion ni Mocha Uson, isa lang naman siya eh. Pero yung sabihin ko sa inyo, guys, ang opinion ng civil society, ang opinion ng masa, ang opinion ng taong bayan, dapat makonvict. Are we not overstepping and are we not confusing rather than enlightening our political processes? Yes, you might think this is a different Alan Cayetano from the impeachment of President Estrada, impeachment of President Arroyo, impeachment of yung hindi natuloy na impeachment kay CJ Davide, sa impeachment ni CJ Corona. But aren't we supposed to be wiser? At hindi ba tama naman yung sinabi ng Supreme Court? Dapat may impeachment pero hindi dapat gamitin ito ng magkalaban lang sa politika. Ayaw natin maging presidente si Vice President Sara, talunin nyo na lang sa 2028. Ngayon, kung talagang may ginawa siyang masama, edi impeach pero sa tamang paraan. I apologize if I'm emotional on this issue, but hindi tayo makawala eh. Ang daming mas importanteng issue, pero nakapako tayo sa issue na to. Thank you, dear colleagues, and thank you to the Filipino people for the opportunity to share my thoughts on this. So I vote for the motion of Senator Marcoleta.
Secretary will proceed. Senator Cayetano Pia.
I vote yes, Mr. President, and I will explain my vote.
The lady may proceed.
Thank you. Why are we here today? Why do I have to cast my vote? It is because a group of citizens, including the members of the House of Representatives, exercised the right to impeach an impeachable officer. Under the Constitution, there are two ways to file a verified complaint for impeachment. Article 11, Section 3.2 by any member of the House of Representatives or by any citizen, and Article 11, Section 3.4 by one-third of all members of the House of Representatives upon a verified complaint or resolution. There were 4 impeachment complaints filed. December 2, December 4, the third on December 19th, and the 4th complaint was endorsed by 215 members of the House on February 5, the last day. On February 18, 2025, Vice President Sara Duterte filed a case with the Supreme Court to question procedural and substantive due process. Her arguments: the House of Representatives circumvented the constitutional one-year ban rule on initiating impeachment proceedings. I won't go into the details, Mr. President, but I will submit my full speech into the record. Vice President Sara's prayer was for the Supreme Court to issue a TRO as well as a writ of preliminary injunction to enjoin all respondents from proceeding with the impeachment trial. After proper proceedings, issue a final injunction, nullify and set aside the 4th impeachment complaint, declare the one-year bar to be applicable from the filing of the 1st impeachment complaint, declare the 4th impeachment complaint to be violative of the one-year bar under Section 3.5, Article 11 of the Constitution. Sa madaling salita, ang prayer po ni Vice President Duterte ay pigilan ang impeachment proceedings dito sa Senado. In the comments of the HOR, they argued the complaint is not barred for the following reasons. None of the first 3 impeachment complaints were referred to the House Committee on Justice, which effectively ended the initiation process. And 2, Petitioner Duterte is stopped from questioning the freezing of the first 3 impeachment complaints for not immediately assailing it. Ano naman ang sinabi ng Supreme Court? The Supreme Court said the articles of impeachment transmitted by the HOR to the Senate based on the fourth impeachment complaint is barred by the one-year rule under Article 11, Section 3.5. It is also constitutionally infirm and therefore null and void ab initio. Ang ibig pong sabihin, hindi na dapat ituloy pa ang impeachment proceeding na ito dahil ang impeachment complaint na isinumite ay labag sa one-year bar rule na nakasaad sa Constitution. Ang probisyong ito ay naglalagay ng limitasyon na isang impeachment complaint lamang ang maaring maisulong sa loob ng 1 taon. Dahil sa paglabag na ito, ang impeachment complaint na ito ay itinuturing na labag sa konstitusyon at walang bisa mula sa simula o tinatawag na null and void ab initio. Mahaba po yung diskusyon ng Supreme Court dyan, makikita ho yan dun sa kaso, doon na lang ho sa isusumite ko, mababasa po doon yung ine-emphasize ko na provisions. So in final, sabi ng Supreme Court, the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute itself as an impeachment court. And this decision is immediately executory. Ano ho ba ang ibig sabihin ng immediately executory? Ibig sabihin po nito na notwithstanding the filing of a motion for reconsideration by the House, the Supreme Court's decision is immediately executory, such that the MR will not stay the decision. Katulad po ng sinabi ko kanina, dun sa press briefing ng Supreme Court, after mag-file ng motion for reconsideration ang House of Representatives, inulit pa rin ng Supreme Court na immediately executory po ito. Ano ba talaga ang karapatan ng Supreme Court na makialam dito sa impeachment case na ito? Well, ito po yung tinatawag na judicial powers ng Supreme Court. The Constitution expressly grants judicial power to our Supreme Court. Article 8, Section 1 of the Constitution provides that judicial power includes the determination of whether or not there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction on the part of any branch or instrumentality of government. Sinabi po dito, any branch, kasama po dyan ang Senado. Pwedeng sabihin ng Supreme Court na may grave abuse ang Senado. Pwedeng sabihin yon. Pwede niya ring sabihin sa House yon. Pwede niyang sabihin sa kahit anong branch of government. Yan po ang nakasulat sa ating Constitution. In Francisco versus House of Representatives, the Supreme Court ruled that and the judiciary in turn with the Supreme Court as the final arbiter effectively checks the other departments in the exercise of its power to determine the law and hence to declare executive and legislative acts void if violative of the Constitution. So sinabi talaga dito, possible na ang Executive Act, ang Legislative Act ay maging void. In case of conflict, the Judicial Department is the only constitutional organ which can be called upon to determine the proper allocation of powers between the several departments and among the integral or constituent units thereof. The House of Representatives urged the Supreme Court to exercise judicial restraint. Sabi ng House, hinay-hinay lang, Supreme Court, so that you can avoid encroaching upon the powers of the legislature and violating the principle of separation of powers. However, the Supreme Court in Duterte versus HREP held that there is a clear and demonstrable textual commitment in the Constitution for the court to act on any grave abuse of discretion of any branch or instrumentality of government. This includes the House of Representatives or the Senate in their exercise of their prerogatives with respect to the process of impeachment. Grave abuse of discretion from the provision does not mean actions without jurisdiction. It includes acts which originally may have been within their discretion, but subsequently the subject of a violation of a constitutional right. This is what is meant by excess of jurisdiction. This court does not decide whether and when to initiate a case of impeachment. However, the court has the power to decide how the provisions which limit the exercise are to be interpreted. On due process, numerous Supreme Court decisions expound on procedural due process in various contexts. These cases underscore the Supreme Court's enduring commitment to uphold procedural due process as a safeguard against arbitrary government action. Bakit po pumasok itong issue na due process? Kasi sinabi ng Supreme Court, hindi naman nagkaroon ng pagkakataon ang Vice President na makita ang complaint sa kanya, hindi rin nakita ang mga ebidensya. Due process exists kahit saan daw pong parte ng paggogobyerno natin. based on the decision, in order to proceed with the impeachment proceedings, the House prosecutors must show not only a valid ground thereof, but also that procedural due process has properly been observed, as this safeguards individuals from the arbitrary exercise of government power by requiring adherence to fair procedures. As such, when there is a violation of due process as enshrined under the Constitution, the case must be dismissed. Kailangan ba ng Senado sumunod sa Korte Suprema? Sinabi ko po at uulitin ko na ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, void ab initio nga po ang kaso. Walang bisa. In Latin, void ab initio means void from the beginning. Sa umpisa pa lang, void. It indicates that something was never valid or legally effective from its inception, rather than becoming invalid at a later point in time. So sa umpisa pa lang, invalid. Hindi siya naging invalid later on, invalid siya sa umpisa pa lang. Absolutely non-existence from the very beginning. Yan ang ibig sabihin ng ab initio. Null and void. It produces no rights, imposes no duties, and affords no protection. It has no legal effect. It is, in legal contemplation, inoperative, as if it has not been passed. As such, it cannot justify an official act taken under it. Yun po ang basihan ng aking desisyon. It cannot justify an official act taken under it. Hindi ho pwede nating pasukin. Gustuhin man natin alamin. Kapareho ho ako ng napakaraming kababayan natin na gusto nating alamin kung ano ba ang mga issue na to. Pero sabi ng Supreme Court, hindi ho natin pwedeng gawin yon. We have to follow the rules. At idadagdag ko, nang sinabi nga ng Supreme Court, ay ito ay immediately executory. Again, the decision stated the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to convene itself as an impeachment court. As such, there is no constitutional authority to even convene as an impeachment court. I am a member of the Senate and I am a lawyer. I am bound by my solemn oath. Nag-oath po tayo last week lang. Ang sabi dun sa oath, I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability the duties of my position. Ginusto ko ba to? Do I want to be a judge here? Hindi po. Nung nag-aral po ako ng law, sabi ko, Lord, wag niyo akong gawing judge. I hate being a judge. Malambot po ang puso ko. Kung pwede, lahat innocent. Yun ho ang gagawin ko. Kasi napakahirap humusga ng ibang tao. But this is my solemn duty. It is my duty. I took an oath. And therefore, gustuhin ko man o hindi, I have to make a decision. And binabase ko ang aking desisyon kung ano ang sinabi ng Supreme Court. Yun naman po aming lawyer's oath. I do solemnly swear that I accept the honor, the privilege, duty, and responsibility of practicing law in the Philippines as an officer of the court in the interest of our people. I declare fealty to the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. Idudugtong ko yung oath na yon dun sa sinabi ng Supreme Court na kailangan sundin ang Constitution. At siya ho ang magpapaliwanag kung paano i-interpret ang Constitution. My duty as a senator and as a lawyer is to be guided by evidence, by the rule of law, and by the principles enshrined in our Constitution. For these reasons, Mr. President, I cast my vote as yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pia Cayetano. Secretary.
Senator De La Rosa.
Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa is recognized.
Mr. President, I vote yes to the motion of Senator Marcolita, and may I be allowed to explain my vote? Thank you, Mr. President. Last June 10, a day before the 19th Congress adjourned sine die, I stood on the same spot conveying my serious concerns on the constitutional infirmities surrounding the articles of impeachment that the 19th Congress of the House of Representatives transmitted to the Senate. I pointed out that the circumstances surrounding the filing of articles of impeachment seem to violate the one-year bar rule enshrined in Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 5 of the Constitution, among others. Given this patent violation of the Constitution, I made a motion to dismiss the articles of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte. After a long discussion with the members of this chamber of the 19th Congress, I listened and I learned. My motion for dismissal was amended by Senator Alan Cayetano and became a motion to remand. The impeachment court then ordered the remanding of the articles of impeachment to the House of Representatives. This chamber also requires the 20th Congress House of Representatives to communicate whether or not they are willing and ready to pursue the impeachment complaint, a requirement which until now has not been complied with. In a sudden shift of events, before the opening of the 28th Congress, the Supreme Court took all by surprise when it promulgated their decision on petitions challenging the validity of the articles of impeachment against Vice President Duterte. When the Supreme Court released their decision to the media, many people expressed their views. There are those who celebrated and commended the Supreme Court. Others voiced out their disappointments. Some criticized the decision. The mixed reactions seem to suggest that the decision promulgated lacks clarity. And yet, Mr. President, after reading the decision, I asked myself, is it long? Yes, 97 pages to be exact. Is it vague? No, Mr. President, it is clear as day. According to the plain meaning rule or verbal leges, if the statute is clear, plain, and free from ambiguity, it must be given its literal meaning and applied without interpretation. Now, even though the decision of the Supreme Court is not a statute, it still forms part of the legal system of the Philippines as mandated by Article 8 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Since the decision of the Supreme Court is clear, plain, and free from ambiguity, applying the plain meaning rule, it should be given its literal meaning. That is, the articles of impeachment are unconstitutional. The Senate did not acquire jurisdiction, and the decision is immediately executory. Plain and simple. Kaya naman, Ginoong Pangulo, nagulat ako nung ako'y tanungin, susunod po ba ako or tayo sa desisyon ng Supreme Court? Hindi po ganun kataas ang tingin ko sa aking sarili. I honestly do not place myself in a position so high, too high, that I will be the one to be asked if I will obey the Supreme Court's ruling. Ang nakasaad sa ruling na yon, immediately executory. Wala namang postscript or PS sa baba na nagsasabing subject to your review and further evaluation. As a member of the Senate and as a citizen of this republic, I submit to the authority of the Supreme Court and respect its decision. Perhaps in shedding light on the highest court's duty, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines said it best, and I quote, "As the final arbiter of constitutional questions, the Supreme Court bears the solemn duty to interpret the law, determine its bounds, and clarify its implications, even when it revisits past doctrines or addresses new contexts. This authority is rooted in checks and balances, the very design that guards against the excesses of any branch. Mr. President, the rule of law is the foundation of our democracy. And if we are to be models of upholding the law, then it behoves us to listen and heed those who have been tasked by the Constitution to interpret the Constitution. The interpretation of the law remains lodged with the Supreme Court, and we must abide by its decision. What message would we send out to our people if we, legislators, will not honor the wisdom of the highest court in the land? Are we not, in effect, promoting anarchy? I want to believe that indeed we are men and women of the law, that we live by rules and perform our mandate as elected officials within lawful means. Our people rest easy and feel a sense of security because their Senate has remained to be guardians of democracy. Looking back, the Senate has accepted several Supreme Court decisions in the past. Why should the ruling in this current impeachment case be any different? Is our concept of respect for and acceptance of Supreme Court decisions selective? If that is the case, are we not playing with fire? Fire, mind you, does not always intend to enlighten or illuminate. It can also burn and bring a house down. Much has been said about where I stand, and I understand that my positions on certain matters have always been consistent and transparent. But while the public and this chamber may be familiar with my views, all that is simply driven by what is in my heart. And I say this with humility. My heart has always been guided by what is right, not only when it is easy, not only when it is convenient, but even and especially when it challenges my comfort zone, when it no longer serves our side. Because at the end of the day, it is a matter of principle, not popularity. Perhaps sometimes we ought to protect our democracy, even from ourselves. Of course, the Senate is not a mere follower of the Supreme Court, but a co-equal branch, meant to respect the powers and functions of the latter in its decisions. I trust that the Senate will continue to peacefully coexist with the Supreme Court. Let us not allow this impeachment trial to become a venue and opportunity to disrupt our system of government. I hope this is not the time when we dance differently, when clearly the same song is playing. We must follow the Supreme Court ruling, not because it is the most convenient thing to do, but because it is what is right and just, no matter how unacceptable or painful it may be. And this is why, Mr. President, I vote yes to adhering to the Supreme Court decision. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator De La Rosa. Mr. Secretary.
Senator Ejercito.
Senator Ejercito is recognized.
Yes, Mr. President, I likewise vote yes to adhere to the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Senator Ejercito. Secretary.
Senator Estrada.
Senate President.
Senate President Escudero.
The Senate President is recognized to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, sa mga minamahal nating kababayan. For many of us, the past 2 weeks have proven to be an exasperating, mentally and emotionally exhausting experience. Both sides have fought bitterly at the dialectical struggle to articulate what they respectively believe to be the correct position or view on the issues involved. Passions had run high as demonstrators, whether for or against impeachment, took to the streets armed with their familiar slogans and chants to air their voice on the matter. Various sectors of society, from business, retired military, academe, denominations of faith, offered suggestions for a return to a state of normalcy in the official relations of governmental branches. Through all these, and as early as the time when the articles of impeachment had been constituted, the court was specifically asked, told, urged, and argued to take no action of any kind and form with respect to the prosecution by the House of Representatives of the impeachment complaint. When the present petitions were knocking, so to speak, at the doorsteps of the court, the same clamor for non-interference was made through what are now arguments of lack of jurisdiction, non-justiciability, and judicial self-restraint, aimed at halting the court from any move that may have a bearing on the impeachment proceedings. The court did not heed the call to adopt a hands-off stance as far as the question of constitutionality of initiating the impeachment complaint is concerned. What lies in here, is an issue of genuine constitutional material which only the court can properly and competently address and adjudicate in accordance with clear-cut allocation of powers under our system. The claim, therefore, that the court, by judicially entangling itself with the process of impeachment, has effectively set up a regime of judicial supremacy is patently without basis in fact and in law, because it is not at all the business of the court to assert dominance, judicial dominance, over the other two great branches of government. Rather, the raison d'etre of the judiciary is to complement the discharge by the executive and legislative of their own powers to bring about ultimately the beneficent effects of having founded and ordered our society upon the rule of law. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the institution that is the Supreme Court, together with all other courts, has long held and been entrusted with the judicial power to resolve conflicting legal rights regardless of the personalities involved in their suits or actions. The court has dispensed justice over the course of time, unaffected by whomsoever stood to benefit or suffer therefrom, unafraid by whatever imputations or speculations could be made to it, so long as it rendered judgment according to the law and the facts. No one is above the law or the Constitution. This is a basic precept in any legal system which recognizes equality of all men before the law as essential to the law's moral authority and that of his agents to secure respect for and obedience to its commands. Perhaps there is no other government branch or instrumentality that is most zealous in protecting that principle of legal equality other than the Supreme Court, which has discerned in its meaning and ramifications through its application of numerous cases, especially the high-profile kind in the annals of jurisprudence. The Filipino nation and its democratic institutions have no doubt been put to a test once again by this impeachment case. Accordingly, the court resorted to no other than the Constitution in search for a solution to what many feared would ripen to a crisis in government. Sa muli, magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Hindi ko po salita ang mga sinambit ko na ilang minuto. Yun po ay paraphrase at halos eksaktong quotation ng salita ni dating Justice Conchita Carpio Morales sa Francisco ruling na kinatigan ng mayoriya ng mga miyembro ng Korte Suprema, kabilang na si dating Chief Justice Puno, dating Justice Carpio, dating Justice Ascuna, dating Justice Panganiban. Ano nga ba itong Francisco ruling na pinag-uusapan natin to? Ano nga ba ang pinagkapareho, pinagkaiba nito sa kasalukuyan nating hinaharap? At bakit ko ba ito tinatanong? Ginoong Pangulo, bahagi ako ng Kongresong nagtangka na i-impeach si dating Chief Justice Davide. Bakit ko sinabing tangka? Dahil pinigilan po kami ng Korte Suprema. In-enjoin at nag-issue ng TRO ang Korte Suprema at ito yung desisyong yun. Francisco, case na palaging sinasite po natin. Ano bang pinagkapareho? Ang aligasyon laban sa nasasakdal noon na si Chief Justice Davide, kaugnay din ng corruption. Daang milyon din. Ang pinag-usapan, initiation of impeachment na dapat sole prerogative din ng Kamara. Ang pinag-usapan, ano bang definisyon ng initiation na dapat sole jurisdiction din ng Kamara? Ang tanong ko po ay simple. Noong mga panahong yun, nasaan po lahat na nagrereklamo ngayon at nagko-question sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema? Yung mga mahistradong nagko-question ngayon na retirado na, bumoto sila pabor doon. Subalit ngayon, tila nag-iba ang posisyon. Ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba kung meron man? Klaro ang pinagkaiba. Iba ang pangalan ng nasasakdal. Today, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the very supremacy of the Supreme Court is being called into question, and with it, the very foundation of the rule of law. As Senate President and as a member of this chamber and as a member of the bar, I will not sit idly by and allow this. At stake is the very idea that justice should be governed by laws that apply to all, equally to all, rather than the whims and caprices of public opinion. As Justice Frankfurter once said, if one man can be allowed to determine for himself what is law, every man can. That means first chaos, then tyranny. Legal process is an essential part of democratic process. Whether it's a mob or a minority, bias and prejudice blinds, divides, and destroys. Former U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor also said it best. The law provides necessary continuity amidst our constantly shifting political landscape. It guarantees everyone will be treated equally, whether they are in today's or yesterday's majority, so they know what to expect, whether what they do is popular or unpopular at that time. The courts, Mr. President, with the Supreme Court at the helm, are the guardians of the rule of law, making sure everyone plays by the same rules and receives equal justice. For the rule of law to prevail, the High Court must act as a compass, not as a political cheerleader, impartially applying the law by calling out violations, not swayed by public opinion or political allegiance. Respect for the rule of law, Mr. President, requires all of us to adhere to final or immediately executory decisions of the court, even when there is a winner and a loser, to avoid deadlocks and maintain legal order. Respect for the rule of law does not bar disagreeing with court decisions, nor from forming our own opinions on the meaning and intent and letter of the spirit of the Constitution. However, we must also have the humility to accept when we are wrong once the Supreme Court has already decided. Respecting the court only when you win or when it aligns with your belief is not respect for me. It is plain arrogance, or if at all, a power play. Cherry-picking court rulings destroys the judiciary's purpose. Disobeying the High Court's decision is a violation of the law, because under our Constitution, decisions of the Supreme Court form part of the law of the land. I made these remarks, Mr. President, amidst recent calls for this august body to disregard the Supreme Court's recent ruling in Duterte v. HOR. These calls for judicial disobedience have been aided and abetted by so-called legal luminaries and experts who fancy their wisdom and knowledge of the Constitution as better, higher, more supreme than that of the Supreme Court. Miyembro po ba sila ng Supremist Court? Miyembro po ba sila ng Super Supreme Court? Sa pagkakaalam ko po, iisa lamang ang Korte Suprema. At ayon sa ating konstitusyon, Korte Suprema ang bukod tanging pwedeng makapagsabi kung ano ang kahulugan ng ating saligang batas. Walang iba. Allow me to demonstrate, for example, Mr. President, the legal gymnastics these people have been undertaking. In the past, and I have borne the brunt of this, sabi nila, forthwith ang sinabi sa Senado, ibig sabihin yan agad-agad, despite the rulings of the Supreme Court that say it is within a reasonable time. Pero doon na tayo sa agad-agad. Sabi ng rules ng House, dapat i-refer ng SecGen immediately sa Speaker. 2 buwan bago niya ginawa yun. Oh, okay lang sa kanila. Di naman sila nagreklamo. Immediately po ang gamit, ha? Hindi forthwith. Sabi naman ngayon ng Korte Suprema, immediately executory. Ay, teka lang. Hintayin muna natin. Hindi pa final. Kapag ka convenienteng gamitin yung mga salita pabor sa posisyon nila, edi okay lang. Kapag ka hindi naman, ay hindi rin. Hindi po ganun dapat yon. Hinihiling nila ngayon sa Senado na ipagpaliban muna ang anumang aksyon para intayin ang anumang desisyon ito kaugnay sa motion for reconsideration na inihain ng Kamara sa Korte Suprema. Subalit tulad ng naipaliwanag na kanina, kaugnay ng motion na pinagbobotohan natin ngayon, kung magbago man ang Korte Suprema sa kanilang desisyon na unanimous noong July 25, 2025, meron pong paraan at proseso pa ang Senado para sundin ang bagong desisyon yan ng Korte Suprema kung sakasakaling mangyayari po yan. In the past, it was also said, nauna nagsalita si Senator Bato, bawal daw at walang karapatan mag-motion ang sinumang senator judge dahil trabaho daw ng depensa yon. Eh bakit yung mga parehong tao yung pinag-uusapan? Dapat maghain tayo ng motion for reconsideration. Hindi ba trabaho din ng prosecution yon? Hindi naman po pwede na pwede lang pag kayo, hindi na pwede pag iba. Now the prosecution has actually filed a motion for reconsideration, and rightfully so, and not by this chamber. Noon kapag nung bumoto kami para i-remand ang impeachment complaint sa Kamara, pinapaboran daw namin yung nasasakdal. Sinabi ko na rin yan, na yung kontra sa impeachment at pabor sa impeachment, hindi ko didinggin. Na yung kontra at pabor kay Vice President Sara Duterte, hindi ko didinggin. Dahil may rason kung bakit babaeng nakapiring ang mata ang simbolo ng ating hustisya, na humahawak ng espada sa kabilang kamay at panimbang sa kabilang kamay. Dahil wala po dapat kinikilala ang hustisya na personalidad. Sino man ang nasasakdal, dapat pareho lamang po ang ating mga magiging desisyon. Sabi din nila, will of the people daw ito. Sino ba si people? Balikan po natin ang naging desisyon ng Korte Suprema. Ayon sa desisyon ng Korte Suprema, sa panunulat ni Justice Malcolm sa Alejandrino versus Manuel Quezon. Pinag-aaralan po ito ng mga first-year law students. Quote, the judiciary, under its powers to interpret the Constitution and the laws, has the duty and the right to declare what the will of the people is as expressed in the fundamental law of the land. Hence, where the acts of the executive or legislative departments violate the will of the people as expressed in the organic law of the land, it is the sworn duty of the judiciary to interpret and to declare that will of the people and the right of the citizen has been violated and or transgressed. Allow me to answer a few more, Mr. President, Your Honor. As I stated earlier, sabi ng ilan, hintayin natin na maresolbahan ang motion for reconsideration. Pero dun sa parehong araw na naghain ng motion for reconsideration ng Kamara, nagsalita ang tagapagsalita ng Korte Suprema at sinabing immediately executory pa rin ang desisyon. Sinahit ko rin kanina ang Section 1, Rule 16, AM number 10-4-20 ng Supreme Court na nagsasabi na ang resolusyon ay magiging executory lamang kapag ka ito'y nagkaroon ng entry of judgment maliban na lang kung sinabi sa desisyon na ito'y immediately executory, na siyang nangyari sa kasong ito. Binanggit din kanina ni Senator Cayetano ang Section 4, Rule 39 ng Rules of Court na nagsasabi na immediately executory na mga desisyon ay hindi kailangan maghintay na maresolbahan anumang apela o motion for reconsideration na nakabinbin. Ginagamit din ang operative fact doctrine. Ang operative fact doctrine po ay exception sa rule ng null and void ab initio. Ito po ay hindi rule, ito ay exception sa rule. Gamit po ang sinulat na desisyon ni Justice Tony Carpio sa League of Cities versus Comelec. Ito ang sinabi po niya. The invocation of the operative fact doctrine is an admission that the law or act is unconstitutional. Bago po natin sabihin, gamitin natin to. Aminin niyo muna. Illegal at bawal ang ginawa ng Kamara. Sa parehong desisyon, sinabi din ni Justice Carpio, it will open the floodgates to wanton enactment of unconstitutional laws and the commission of unconstitutional acts and a mad rush for their immediate implementation before the court can declare them unconstitutional. This view, according to him, is an open invitation to serially violate the Constitution and be quick about it, lest the violation be stopped by the court. Sinabi din po ni Justice Carpio sa desisyong Aralio versus Aquino, those who acted in bad faith with gross negligence cannot invoke this doctrine. Hindi po pwedeng pakinabangan nung taong gumawa ng unconstitutional at illegal act ang doktrinang ito. Pwede lamang po itong gamitin ng mga partidong walang kinalaman dun sa ginawang mali, masama o di naaayon sa saligang batas. Ika nga, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands, and he who seeks equity must likewise do equity. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, kinondena din ng ilang legal luminaries tulad ng Philconsa na dating pinangunahan ng nanguna sa impeachment complaint na si Speaker Romualdez, ilang taon lamang ang lumilipas, na hindi daw, bagong requirement daw ang due process. Dagdag daw ito. Mr. President, Your Honors, they should read Francisco again. They forgot that lack of due process in the impeachment process had been raised and in fact was specifically mentioned in the separate concurring opinions. And allow me to quote the concurring opinion of Justice Panganiban. The due process clause enshrined in our fundamental law is a condition sine qua non that cannot be ignored in any proceeding, administrative, judicial, or otherwise. It is deemed written into every law, rule, or contract, even though not expressly stated therein. Hence, the House rules on impeachment, insofar as they do not provide the charged official with number 1, notice, and number 2, opportunity to be heard prior to being impeached, are also unconstitutional. Needless to say, the due process limitation on the impeachment process was already discussed in Francisco. May pumalag ba nun? Wala. Yung nagre-reklamo ba ngayon kaugnay sa bagong requirement yung due process, nag-react nung sinulat ito at naging bahagi ng Francisco ruling? Hindi ko rin po napansin. Sinabi din po ng ilang legal luminary, partikular binanggit din ito ni Speaker Romualdez. When the court begins to create rules on how it and other high officials may be impeached, it risks writing the terms of its own immunity. This point was also discussed in Francisco. Ang sabi ng korte nito, illogical ito at non-sequitur. Alalahanin po natin. Hula lamang yung gagamitin din ito pabor sa kanila. Sa kaso ng Francisco, nakaupong Chief Justice ang nasasakdal. Pero sinabi mismo ng korte, hindi bali yan. Hindi namin pinapaboran ang kabaro namin sa pagbaba namin ng desisyong ito. Mr. President, the Constitution establishes a system of checks and balances, not a system of retribution. Threatening the Supreme Court with impeachment simply because one disagrees with the ruling is a dangerous assault on our constitutional order. The Senate, Mr. President, stands ready to uphold the integrity of the Constitution as well as the institutions created under it. My dear colleagues, we are told that to honor the court's ruling is to betray the truth, that by choosing fidelity to the law, we somehow abandon accountability, but nothing for me could be further from the truth. To disregard the ruling would not only defy the Constitution, it would drag the nation into a crisis it can ill afford. It would erode the authority of our laws, embolden those who believe they are above it because they know it all or simply know better. To those seeking to disregard the Supreme Court's decision, I ask these simple questions, Mr. President. Again, in light of the Francisco ruling on former Chief Justice Davide, and it was okay then because they did not want then Chief Justice Davide to be impeached. Are you truly for accountability or simply anti-Duterte? Do you truly respect and want to preserve the Constitution or you simply hate the Vice President? Are you serving the nation's interest or protecting and pursuing your own personal ambitions or agenda? Are you fighting for truth or are you simply after revenge? Do you really want a trial or do you just want a conviction? Do you really believe that we are wrong or do you simply think and feel entitled and believe that you are always right? Remove the name, Mr. President, of the Vice President in this case. Apply the decision of the High Court, as Senator Cayetano said earlier, to another impeachable official. Would your positions be the same? When I was faced with this situation, Mr. President, I respected the court's decision, even if I disagreed with it. I am still voting to respect that court's decision. As quoted at the start of my speech, Mr. President, the dispensation of justice over the course of time should be unaffected, whomsoever stood to benefit or suffer therefrom. The courts should be unafraid of whatever imputations or speculations could be made against it by those disagreeing. I will not cast a vote that says complying with the Supreme Court ruling is optional. Anyone who will say, I will respect the Supreme Court today and condemn it tomorrow, is not showing fidelity to the Constitution. It is submission to the passions of the day, to the shifting winds of public sentiment that may or may not be just. Fidelity to the Constitution, Mr. President, must prevail even when it is unpopular, inconvenient, or misunderstood. In fact, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it must prevail, especially when it is unpopular, when it is inconvenient, and misunderstood. Finally, Mr. President, let today's verdict be a stern and unequivocal warning to anyone who would dare use the Senate for their personal battering ram to further their personal political ambitions. To the House of Representatives, I say, do not allow yourselves to be used for the blind hatred and ambition of a few who did things haphazardly, gravely abused their discretion, and violated due process rights under the Constitution as found by the High Court itself. In spite of all these, you expect everyone to roll over in obedience. When we did not, you moved hell and high water to destroy personalities, malign reputations, and tarnish institutions. To these people, I say this: the Senate is not your playground to run after your political enemies. We are not an accomplice in any grand scheme. While others may be willing to play your game, I am not. I will never bow to a mob. I will never cower to the shrillest of voices. Let history, Mr. President, record that in this moment, we chose the Constitution. We chose the rule of law by defending the integrity of the Supreme Court and maintaining the system of checks and balances under our Republican system of government. Let this chamber be remembered, not for the passions we inflamed, but for the principles we upheld. I vote yes to the motion, Mr. President. I vote yes to the rule of law, yes to the Constitution, yes to the supremacy of the Supreme Court in interpreting it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senate President.
Secretary will please continue to call the roll
Senator Estrada.
for nominal voting. Senator Estrada is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, more than 190 years ago, Justice Joseph Story warned that impeachment requires a lofty sense of duty, a deep responsibility to future times, as well as to God. His words remind us that we serve not only the present, but generations yet unborn, and that our actions must be anchored in constitutional fidelity and historical consciousness. With that solemn duty in mind, may I address the decision of our Supreme Court. Mr. President, the decision of the Supreme Court is very clear, that it left no doubt nor space for any other interpretation. Accordingly, I place on record my position in adhering to the Supreme Court's ruling, a decision that declared that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte because the complaint transmitted to us was null and void ab initio. Bakit natin ipinipilit ang isang bagay na malinaw na wala sa ating kapangyarihan? Nagsalita na po ang Korte Suprema. Hindi saklaw at walang jurisdiksyon ang Senado. Tapos na ang usapin. Patay na ang kaso. Mr. President, we must never forget that the Supreme Court is the final interpreter of our Constitution. It is not merely one of three co-equal branches. It is the guardian of the rule of law. If we, the very makers of law, choose to defy its authoritative interpretation, then we commit an unforgivable assault on our democratic institutions, and we undoubtedly invite a constitutional crisis, a breakdown of checks and balances where anarchy replaces order and chaos becomes the norm. Mr. President, let us be clear. No one is above the law. Not the President, not the Vice President, not even the Senate when it sits as an impeachment court. The Constitution is not just an ordinary law. It is the supreme law of the land. And if we betray to serve political passions or popular sentiment, then we betray the Republic itself. The Integrated Bar of the Philippines, in a statement, said that defying the High Court's ruling would, in effect, erode the very foundations of the legal order. And I agree with this, Mr. President. At the expense of sounding like a broken record, I would like to say again that the Supreme Court is the final interpreter of our Constitution. Tagapagpaliwanag ang Korte Suprema ng saligang batas. At kapag may hindi pagkakaintindihan kung paano dapat ipatupad, unawain ng batas, kabilang ang proseso ng impeachment, ang interpretasyon ng kataas-taasang hukuman ang siyang mananaig. Kaya naman, kapag nagsalita ng Korte Suprema, dapat itong igalang at sundin ng lahat. Ginoong Pangulo, batid natin na isang mahalagang mekanismo ang impeachment upang mapanagot ang pinakamatataas na opisyal ng pamahalaan na lumalabag o umaabuso sa kanilang posisyon at kapangyarihan. Sa ilalim din ng mekanismong ito ay may pagkakataon para may pagtanggol ang kanilang sarili. Kaya naman dapat na magamit at maisagawa ng tama ang proseso at masiguro na ang mga naatasan ng saligang batas na magsagawa nito, ang House of Representatives at ang Senado, ay tumupad sa kanilang tungkulin ng may integridad at walang pagmamalabis sa kapangyarihang ipinagkaloob sa kanila. Hindi na sana dapat maulit ang pagkakamaling nasaksihan natin mahigit 2 dekada na ang nakalipas sa kaso ng aking ama, si dating Pangulong Joseph Estrada. Kung inyong natatandaan, noong impeachment trial ng aking ama, pinagkaitan siya ng pagkakataon harapin ang mga paratang sa kanya dahil pinairal ang pansariling interes at hindi tumalima sa kanilang tungkulin ang mga prosecutors mula sa mababang kapulungan sapagkat nag-walk out po sila. Nakakadismaya, Ginoong Pangulo, na ganyan din ang nangyayari ngayon. Muli na naman nananaig ang pansariling interes. Matinding emosyon at inunang pamumulitika dahilan upang humantong tayo sa sitwasyong sinabi ng Korte Suprema na may malinaw na paglabag sa ating saligang batas. Had we decided to ignore the Supreme Court ruling and proceeded with the impeachment trial, we risk undermining the judiciary's role as the final arbiter of constitutional issues, and this will definitely create a dangerous precedent where future legislatures could just bypass court rulings they deem unwarranted. Mr. President, my dear colleagues, there should be a balance of power among the 3 branches of government, and this representation does not wish the Senate to be in a direct collision course with the Supreme Court amid calls for us to proceed with the trial. I refuse to be a part of the Senate. I refuse to be part of a Senate that defies the law, disrespects the courts, and undermines the very system of justice we claim to uphold. To my colleagues who insist on pressing forward, I ask these questions. If we cannot obey the law, do we still deserve to be called lawmakers? If we cannot respect the Constitution, do we still deserve the privilege of serving in public service? At kung ang Senado ay magmamatigas at hindi tutok din ang tuntunin ng batas, hindi ba tahas ang pagtalikod ito sa ating sinumpaang tungkulin? Kung hindi natin kayang igalang ang batas na tayo mismo ang nagtatanggol, hindi na po tayo nararapat dito. Mr. President, political will, however passionate or burning within us, is not always the path we should take. There are moments when even our deepest convictions must kneel before the altar of the Constitution, when our desire for action must bow to the rule of law. Our strength as senators lies not in bending institutions to our will, but in bending ourselves to the will of our constitutional framework. Our true power is revealed not when we flamboyantly get our way, but when we gracefully accept outcomes that defy our preferences. Our honor rests in respecting and embracing decisions that contradict our personal beliefs. And our legacy is a democracy that works, preserved by our willingness to submit to something greater than our feelings, our pride, our ego, our very selves. Mr. President, let history show that I chose principle over pressure, law over lawlessness, and country over partisanship. We are not shirking from our responsibility, but to fulfill our highest duty, to uphold the rule of law and to preserve the legitimacy of our institutions in accordance with the Constitution. Mr. President, let us act not with haste, but with honor. Let us preserve our republic, not fracture it. I did not swear an oath to defend emotion. I swore an oath to defend our Constitution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Gatchalian.
Senator Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, I rise today to cast my yes vote. Respecting the unanimous decision of the Supreme Court, which has declared the articles of impeachment filed by the House of Representatives unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has decided, and as public servants sworn to protect and defend the Constitution, our duty is to respect the Court's decision and abide by the ruling. Napaka-specific po ng sinabi ng Korte, void ab initio, ang articles of impeachment. O sa madaling salita, as if walang nangyari at immediately executory ang desisyon. Alam naman nating lahat, dapat natin sundin ang saligang batas. Hindi natin pinipili kung kailan natin gustong sundin. Hindi ito usapin ng opinyon o sariling interpretasyon. Ito ay obligasyon, pananagutan at tungkulin natin sa bansa at sa ating mga kababayan. From the very beginning, malinaw at consistent ang posisyon ko sa impeachment. Follow the law. Noong nagtipon tayo bilang impeachment court noong June 10 para magdesisyon kung ang articles of impeachment ay dapat bang ibalik sa mababang kapulungan. I voted no. I voted this way dahil importante po sa akin na mapag-usapan ng articles of impeachment sa konteksto ng isang legal, maayos at malinaw na impeachment trial. Ito ay naaayon sa mandato sa atin ng konstitusyon. Ayon sa Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 6 ng ating saligang batas, the Senate shall have the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. There is no room for ambiguity. Ito ang proseso ayon sa batas at ito ang ating tungkulin. Ang isang pundasyon ng konstitusyon ay ang separation of powers o ang pagkilala na ang bawat sangay ng gobyerno ay may kanya-kanyang kapangyarihan at tungkulin. Ang executive, legislative at judiciary ay may kanya-kanyang mandato. At pagdating sa usaping konstitusyon, the final authority is the Supreme Court. Mr. President, esteemed colleagues, this representation knows and respects that we have different perspectives on the verdict of the High Court and on the impeachment itself. Alam ko na marami tayong iba't ibang paniniwala at pagtingin sa batas. Pero alam ko na alam din nating lahat kung ano ang sinasabi ng konstitusyon tungkol sa mandato ng ating mga korte. Malinaw sa Article 8, Section 1 of the Constitution na judicial power includes the duty of the courts of justice to settle actual controversies involving rights which are legally demandable and enforceable, and to determine whether or not there has been a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction on any part of any branch or instrumentality of the government. Sa isang desisyon ng Korte Suprema noong 2003 sa kasong Francisco versus the House of Representatives, sinabi ng Korte Suprema na the Constitution did not intend to leave the matter of impeachment to the sole discretion of Congress. Instead, it provided for certain well-defined limits and, in the language of Baker versus Carr, judicially discoverable standards for determining the validity of the exercise of such discretion through the power of judicial review. Sinabi rin ng Korte Suprema sa Angara versus Electoral Commission na the judiciary in turn with the Supreme Court as the final arbiter effectively checks the other departments in the exercise of its power to determine the law and hence to declare executive and legislative acts void if violative of the Constitution. Maraming iba-ibang halimbawa, pero iisa ang mensahe. Mandato at responsibilidad ng ating mga korte na tingnan at i-review kung nagkaroon ng pag-aabuso, grave abuse of discretion o di tamang pagsunod sa proseso na itinakda ng konstitusyon. At gaya ng paggalang ng judiciary sa tungkulin ng ibang sangay ng gobyerno, it is our duty to respect the decision of the Supreme Court. Hindi dahil sinabi lang nila, kung hindi kinikilala at nirirespeto natin ang tungkulin nila. In this instance, following and protecting the process of the law means respecting the decision of the Supreme Court. Hindi ito simpleng pagsunod. We do not follow for the sake of following. Ang pagsunod sa batas at sa mga prosesong tungkol sa batas ay isa sa mga susi ng maayos na lipunan at pagbigay ng hustisya. Kapag malinaw ang ating proseso, madaling gumalaw, walang nasasayang na panahon at mas madaling makita ang katotohanan. Law and order ensure consistency and they preserve our way of life. Napaka-importante ng panahong ito. Ingatan at alagaan po natin ang saligang batas. It is not just any document or an ordinary set of rules. It is an expression of our collective vision as Filipino people. Defending and preserving the Constitution is not only our duty, it is the right thing to do. Thank you, Mr. President, esteemed colleagues.
Thank you, Senator Gatchalian. Mr. Secretary.
Senator Go.
Senator Christopher Bongo is recognized to explain his vote.
I vote yes, and I will explain my vote.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, I want to register my affirmative vote to adhere with the Supreme Court decision and to archive the articles of impeachment. The Supreme Court has already spoken in a crystal clear language. The court unanimously ruled that the articles of impeachment against the Vice President are unconstitutional. That the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction to constitute ourselves as the impeachment court, and that the decision of the High Court is immediately executory. The ruling is clear. Wala na dapat tayong impeachment na pag-uusapan sa ngayon. This principle of checks and balances of the co-equal branches of our government is the very foundation of our democratic and republican way of life. The separation of powers allocates to each branch certain powers and prerogatives that other branches may not question or interfere with. Disrupt that delicate balance and we shake, if not threaten, the foundation of our democratic system. When that happens, the people's faith in the various institutions of our government will be lessened. God forbid, we do not want to come to a point when our people no longer trust our courts. Sa ngayon, meron na pong unanimous decision ang ating Korte Suprema, igalang po natin ito. That is why I voted in favor of the motion to adhere with the Supreme Court decision. But let me be very clear. Hindi ko sinasabi na hindi tayo sang-ayon sa accountability. Sa pagkakakilala ko sa mga Duterte, hindi sila tumatakbo sa kanilang responsibilidad. Haharapin at harapin nila ang anumang hamon ng panahon basta ginawa lamang po ito sa tamang paraan. Nabanggit din ni Vice President Sara Duterte na handa niyang harapin ang impeachment case laban sa kanya. Ang sabi ko nga noong nagsalita ako rito last June para isuggest na ibalik ang articles of impeachment sa House of Representatives upang matingnan at masigurong nasusunod ang tamang proseso. I said that justice done the wrong way is not justice at all. Marami namang mekanismo upang mapanagot ang kahit sino mang opisyal ng gobyerno na may pananagutan. Kung meron mang pananagutan, ang mahalaga ay nagagawa ito sa tama at legal na paraan. Mr. President, mag-move on na tayo upang mas magampanan natin ang ating pangunahing mandato at ito ay ang magpanday ng mga batas. Batas na makakatulong sa mga mahihirap nating kababayang Pilipino. Napakarami pa rin sa ating mga kababayan ang walang maayos at disenteng trabaho. Napakaraming pamilya ang natutulog sa gabi na walang laman ang tiyan. Napakarami pa rin sa mga mamamayan nating mga nagsasangla ng kalabaw, nagbebenta ng ari-arian sa oras ng tinamaan sila ng sakit, at napakarami pa rin Pilipino ang hirap makakuha ng mga serbisyo at tulong mula sa gobyerno. Kaya magtrabaho na lang muna tayo. Nabibigyan na po ang Pilipino dahil sa ingay ng politika. Politikang hindi naman masasaing sa umaga, politikang hindi naman pwedeng magamit pambayad sa tuition sa paaralan, politikang hindi naman makapagbibigay lunas sa may mga sakit. Let us buckle down to our work. The people expect nothing less from us. Ever since, I am for peace and unity. Nakikiusap po ako na magkaisa na tayo para makapagserbisyo na tayo sa ating mga kapwa Pilipino. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Christopher Bongo. Sir Secretary.
Senator Ontiveros.
Senator Risa Ontiveros is next to explain her vote.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Mr. President, I vote no. The 1987 Constitution entrusted the duty to try and decide all cases of impeachment to the Senate. Today, we are voting to abandon this mandate. I reiterate that the Supreme Court decision is not yet final. Kahit paano mo baliktarin. So, make no mistake, this was an act of the Senate. It is our institution which, in the words of colleagues, killed the articles of impeachment. Ang pinanggagalingan ko lamang po dito, pananagutan. Our people must have the power to make the highest rulers accountable. The process of impeachment is meant to question the powers that be and whether they deserve that power. In short, karapat-dapat ka ba? Hindi po dapat mahirap at teknikal ang impeachment. Taliwas ito sa intent ng framers. It should not be taxing to hold power to account. Anything that will make it easier for a public officer to evade accountability should be opposed. Ang hangad ko sana ay matulungan natin ang isa't isa. Tulungan natin ang ating mga kababayan na sagutin ito ng buo, ng may tapang at ng walang paligoy-ligoy. Ma-dismiss man natin ngayon o ma-archive ang articles of impeachment, mas mahirap i-dismiss o i-archive ang daing ng mga tao sa pananagutan at katarungan. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Risa Ontiveros. Secretary.
Senator Lacson.
Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson is recognized to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. Without the words immediately executory and the phrase on 25 July 2025, which held, among others, that the articles of impeachment are null and void ab initio, and that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the same, I would have voted in favor of the amended motion because I have always maintained that we must respect and not disobey the Supreme Court. But since there's still a pending motion for reconsideration filed by the House of Representatives through the Solicitor General, I believe that the July 25 ruling is by no means final until it rules on the motion for reconsideration with finality. That being said, I would rather wait, not preempt, the final ruling of the High Court. It is for these reasons that I abstain, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Lacson. Mr. Secretary.
Senator Lapid.
Senator Lito Lapid is recognized.
Mr. President, rinirespeto ko po at ginagala ko ang kataas-taasan hukuman. Ang boto ko po ay yes. Salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Senator Lapid. Secretary.
Senator Legarda.
Senator Lauren Legarda is recognized to explain her vote.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Supreme Court has ruled with clarity. It declared the impeachment complaint not only constitutionally barred, but void from the beginning, and further held that the Senate did not acquire jurisdiction over the matter. This decision, by express pronouncement, is immediately executory. We in the Senate are stewards of the Constitution and the rule of law. Our fidelity must be strongest precisely when institutions are under strain or pressure. To proceed as though the ruling were uncertain or optional would be a departure from our constitutional duty. This manifestation is a commitment to respect the present authority of the Court's decision while remaining open to its final word. I cast my vote without prejudice to the Supreme Court's disposition of the pending motion for reconsideration. The Court speaks, and at times it speaks again. But until it does, the Senate must not act contrary to what it has already said. For these reasons, I vote yes. I honor the decision of the Supreme Court. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Legarda. Mr. Secretary.
Senator Marcoleta.
Senator Rodante Marcoleta is recognized to explain his vote.
Ginoong Pangulo, noong ang ating Panginoong Diyos ay nilalang po niya yung unang dalawang tao, pinagsabihan niya rin po meron siyang isang sinabi sa kanila na para na rin po sa kanilang kapakanan. Ang sabi po niya, kayong dalawa, lahat ng nakikita ninyo na bunga ng halamanan sa inyong paligid at lahat ng mga hayop na nakikita nyo na gumagala riyan, pwede ninyong kainin para sa inyo lahat yan. Ngunit yung natatangi na puno na nandiyon sa gitna, ay huwag ninyong gagalawin. Matatag po ang kabawalan ng ating Panginoon Diyos. Kaya lang po, meron pong isang ahas na biglang nakialam. Sabi niya dun sa babae, sinabi ba ikaw ng Panginoon Diyos na pagka kumain kayo dyan sa bunga nung nasa gitna na yun, ay kayo mamamatay? Oo, sabi ng babae. Ay, hindi totoo yun. Ang totoo niyan, pagka kumain kayo dyan, mas lalo kayong tatalino. Ito naman si babae, Mr. President, nakinig. At nung makinig siya, pinuntahan pa niya yung asawa niya. Yun po yung kauna-unahang under-desire po, Mr. President. Napakain din po yung asawa. Ano po ang ibig ko sabihin? Bakit ko po nilalahad ang pangyayaring ito? Meron na pong kapasyahan. Ang dami pong gustong sumausaw. Ang dami pong gustong magsabi ng kaiba yung pananaw at paniniwala doon sa kapasyahan na iginagalang nating lahat. Ang ibig ko po sanang sabihin, magpakaingat-ingat naman tayo kung sino-sino na lang ang nagpapayo sa atin. Kung mapapansin po ninyo ang karamihan ng nagpapayo na yan, may pagkakatulad po silang lahat eh. Una, lahat po sila hindi nila binasa ng kumpleto yung rules of procedures ng impeachment proceedings sa House of Representatives. Sapagkat kung binasa po nila yon, malamang hindi po ganun ang kanilang ibinubulong. Pangalawa, lahat po nung yun ay puro paborito po ng mainstream media. Sila na lang po yung tinatanong eh. Pangatlo, lahat po ng yun, walang pagmamahal sa mga Duterte. Ngayon, kung yung kalipunan po ng mga tao na yun, ng karamihan po sila, sa kanila ay nagsasabi, sila po yung mga legal luminaries. Tingin ko po sa kanila, yung iba ay legal mercenaries, Sir President. With all due respect to the word. Kaya po kung minsan, imbes na po malinawan ang marami po nating kababayan, nagkakaroon po ng pag-aalinlangan. Yung iba po ay naililigaw, nalilinlang sapagkat iba't iba. Kaiba yung mga paniniwala, pinipilit at gustong ipilit na yung pa yung mananaig kesa dusang kapasyahan na po na ibinaba ng Korte Suprema. Kung sa bagay nga po, sa una ko pong paghalimbawa, Panginoon Diyos na nga po yun eh. Kinontra pa ng ahas eh. Ginoong Pangulo, sa mga abogado po, palaging may biruan eh. Kasi po sa lahat ng pagdidiskusyon ng ating korte, lalong-lalo na po ang kataas-taasang hukuman, hindi naman po lahat ay agreeable. Merong partidong aggrieved siya, merong partidong masaya siya. Ngunit, sa katapos-tapusan wala po tayong magagawa kundi tanggapin ang kapasyahan. Minsan po sinasabi nga natin kahit pabiro, alam mo ninyo basta desisyon ng Korte Suprema, ay nagiging bahagi ng ating mga batas, maliman o tama. Yun po ay nasa Article 8 Civil Code na binanggit na po kanina ni Senator Bato. Nang sinasabi po, judicial decisions applying or interpreting the laws on the Constitution shall form part of the legal system of the Philippines. Wala na po tayong magagawa doon. Batas na po yun eh. Sa akin pong naunang talumpati kanina, Ginoong Pangulo, hindi ko na po ulitin. I will just request that my entire speech, Mr. President, be incorporated by way of preference to be included in this explanation in my voting yes for my own motion. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta, for your explanation.